you will have, literally walking around there now, alive and well, the next person that you're going to fall in love with. You just have to fucking find them. And you can't do that when you're in that bad, negative mental health space.
Curious fuckers, it's so nice to see you again. Thank you so much for being here. We really appreciate it.
Wow, I love how you can like look down the camera into the future and see all the audiences that will be watching this video. That's nice.
I know, it's a gift.
It's a gift and a curse. Fuck, what are they doing? They're probably wanking.
I can see you.
We see you. We see you coming onto our videos, masturbating over us, talking about sex.
Also, I just wanted to say a massive thank you to all you curious fuckers out there that bought our hoodie. They are going to be on the way to you very, very soon. So when they arrive, please take a photo of yourself wearing it and send it to us on our Instagram or our email. We want to see.
We would desperately want to see. We're so proud of this hoodie and so excited. And if you got one of like the limited edition ones, oh my goodness. If you didn't manage to get one, then we will be bringing out more merch soon, so make sure you're on our Instagram to keep your eyes peeled.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So what are we talking about today?
Great intro. We are talking about breakups because it has been a while since Florence and I spoke about breakups, and as you know, we have both been through some pretty big breakups and heartache over the course of the last year, really.
Yeah. And I think we've both experienced breakups in a very different way, which is why we wanted to talk about the different ways that we've experienced it, and also like going through lockdown and having heartbreak and breakups as well. That is a different kettle of fish, because like way back in the past I had my breakup that wasn't during the pandemic, and I feel like that was a whole different world of going through a breakup.
Yeah, it is. You can see your friends, you can get distracted, you can go out and go on dates and at least make the time go quicker. But in the pandemic you have just been trapped in it's been horrible already. Like lockdown is so tough on our minds. It is literally like being in your own mental prison, and all you have are your thoughts that are really hard to break out of. Yeah, as much as we hate work, at least if you're going to work every day, like that does help distract you from a lot of the negative thoughts you have revolving around breakups.
I think also like the pandemic, we've just been like in our minds like the whole time. So if we've got a breakup going on, we can't help but kind of have that lingering thought about it all the time.
Yeah, it's tough. So I mean, I've had a recent breakup, and oh my god, we've both been through the ups and downs of it, but I definitely feel like mine's been a massive roller coaster, and I've learned a lot since the breakup. And I literally this week I was in tears, I was crying. Like this is supposed to be a happy video. We're going to tell you that like that whatever you're going through now, if you are going through a breakup, will get easier and things can get amazing and you will be able to find your feet again, because we both know what it feels like to be where you are now, sobbing, like heartbroken, distraught, like literally thinking, how am I going to function? How am I going to make this through? And we are here to give you all the best advice that we can, and hopefully help you to see a different side of your breakup that we have both seen.
I guess like something that I figured out recently was that breakups don't have to be a negative thing. And I feel like we perceive a breakup as a negative thing because we see a breakup as a failure in some sort of way, but that's because society has taught us that like a relationship is the thing that you're striving for in life, and that is like, you know, the end goal is to be married and have kids. So obviously when we go for a breakup, we're like, oh fuck, like I failed at this part of my life and now I have to start again. But actually, you know what, society, fuck off, because that isn't how we need to lead our lives. Our lives should be filled with different connections, new connections, and just because one ends, that's like a good thing, because it means that we can move on and grow and meet new people and new connections.
Even the word breakup sounds horrible. It's like you're breaking something. And same with like your ex, that sounds like a really nasty word. It's kind of like the whole thing around it is yes, it does hurt, but it's supposed to. It is what makes you feel alive. You know, it's that tale old saying of like, better to have loved than lost. And it doesn't feel like that at the time. You're like, I wish I never met them. I wish I could forget. Like, I want to, like, was it eternal sunshine for the spotless mind me and just get them out of my mind. Being in love and falling out of love and going through breakups is what makes us feel alive. It's what makes us human, and we need to go through them. During this time, I've sort of created this, like, a formula, a breakup formula that you need to be able to get through it. And I don't know if this is just absolutely chatting shit out my own arse, but I feel like the formula is time plus distraction plus perspective. And I feel like you need those three things to be able to get over a breakup.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's
seems
true.
like the perfect thing.
Yeah. I mean, and also, you know, falling in love with somebody else also makes things a lot easier until it goes wrong again.
Definitely. Yeah. I think, like, moving on is, you know, it is the easiest way to get over someone, is to move on to someone else. But it's not necessarily the most healthy way to move on from
absolutely
a
not.
relationship.
Because, like, if you're not in a great state of mind yourself, if you are, and I got like this, every time I felt low and shit, I would be straight on talking to people through dating apps and WhatsApp and Instagram, because that made me feel better about myself. But that was not the way to play it, because I wasn't doing so well. I was putting myself in situations where maybe I started to like someone and then feel so unbelievably heartbroken and angry and upset when that didn't go through, when we didn't fall in love. And I was like, oh, you know, well, fuck you then. Like, waste of time. Obviously, I wouldn't say this to people. Like, people are allowed to have their own feelings. You can't really help who you like and who you don't like.
Yeah.
But, like, yeah, falling in love does help. That does help you move on. But then that's also, like, what time? Perspective, distraction.
I think it is also a lot about, like, then how you feel about yourself after the breakup, and your journey of sort of, like, rediscovering, like, who you are without that person. Because whether you like it or not, you change when you're in a relationship with someone, because you change to suit that person in it could be in small ways, it could be in big ways. I know that, like, when I went through my bigger relationship before the pandemic, that bigger breakup, I went through such a big life change into refinding myself, and also my, like, passions, my, like, drive for life, my ambition. Like, I refound all of that, and, like, that really helped me get over the breakup, because I was like, I know that even though I might love and miss this person, I am a better person without them.
Yeah. And it's a hard pill to swallow. And literally being able to sit down and you go through an identity crisis, because it's not just like, you know, that person that you've lost. It's like everything to do with that person. So maybe the clothes that you watch, the places you go, the movies, the clothes that you watch, the movies you watch, the clothes you wear, the friends that you have, the holidays that you have, all of that reminds you of that person, and you feel like you can't really go back there. Remembering what you were like before you were together, remembering who you were as a person, and the stuff that you enjoyed that maybe they didn't enjoy, so you kind of, like, didn't really do much about it, or the way that you changed your clothes, or the food that you ate, and the places that you go. Think about all the things that you used to love doing on your own, and that made you feel like you, and maybe especially something that they didn't like, that you can bring back and be like, you know what, I actually love doing this. Like, I really loved, and this is so silly, like, I love cars, like I like vintage cars, I like souped up stupid cars with the spoilers and shit, and I love that stuff. And because my partner didn't like it at the time, I completely forgot about it, and I almost pushed it aside. So never watched, like, Fast and the Furious, never went to car shows. I used to go to car shows when I was younger. Like, what the fuck? And, like, you know,
that
when you
is
see,
so interesting,
right? Really bizarre. And he really wasn't into it at all. And obviously, like, I'm there with, like I'm there bringing that all back. Like, I want to go to car shows, and I want to go to like what's it, car racing and box cars, and I'm watching the whole fucking Fast and Furious series, and I'm sitting there loving it. Like, you know, you see, like, a stupid car go down the street with, like, rims and a spoiler, and you're like, that's dumb, but I love that so much.
Yeah. I felt like in that relationship that I had, that was pretty toxic, to be honest. Like, my ex, like, he made me feel like I needed to be, like, feminine all the time. Like, he wouldn't like certain things that I wore, or, like, he would never really compliment me, and it ended up making me feel really miserable about myself. When I was growing up, I had loads of friends that are boys. I was pretty masculine. I've always like sat with my legs open. I've been really comfortable with all of that, and I had been made to feel that that was kind of wrong or unsexy and made me undesirable in a relationship during that relationship. So I've been on this like massive journey of actually getting in touch with like my masculine side more, and it's making me really like, it's making me feel so much more comfortable with myself to be able to like mix up like being masculine and being feminine at the same time, and also being in a relationship like with a partner who finds me attractive and hot, like no matter what I wear. And like when I'm wearing trackies and like my most masculine things, like he finds that hot, and that's like that's been life-changing.
And it's wrong to even say like masculine and feminine. Like what the fuck is masculine? The idea that like what wearing like trackies and like burping, that's like masculine. That's just crazy. It's just being human. But like having this idea put on you about being so feminine and like traditional female, I think that's where it was like, it was complicated. You have completely changed your style, and people can see in the videos like you are a completely different person just talking in front of the camera now, which is incredible.
Yeah, it's mad.
I
feel like a different person.
Yeah.
And I think this is the positive thing that comes out of a breakup, is that you re-find yourself and you come out of your shell again, and you can rediscover like what you love about life and then thrive on that.
So recently I've been having a real tough time with mine and Thomas's breakup, which is surprising because I was doing so well at the beginning and I was so ready for things to be like casually ended and happy to have my space back and to have myself back and to go out shagging. Everything was going really well, I felt like, until obviously, you know, after Christmas blues, like January, February, March are always like the hardest months of the year, generally speaking.
They really are.
We have all felt them, and also the weather as well really doesn't help. And on top of that, you're stuck indoors and you can't go out and do things. And so what really got to me was how surprised I was that Thomas moved on so quickly, which isn't really so quickly, it's just like normal, you know, you can't really help who you like. But I didn't really realise how much that would affect me, and thinking that it was the relationship when actually realising it was actually myself that was the thing that needed fixing. My mental health was out of whack. And I've been so up and down, like in the past couple of weeks, like miserable, like unable to work some of the days, having to cancel meetups with Florence doing work. Yeah, just feeling really shit. And like every walking date that I've been on, feeling like, oh, this is going to be great. And then either being really disappointed at the beginning because they're not who I want them to be. And then also disappointed if they are who I want them to be. And then they don't want to reciprocate. So, so yeah, really, really upset and going through the waves of like severe depression, and kind of everything sort of changed around yesterday when I had like some huge epiphanies with my therapist, and also when Thomas came to grab the last of his stuff out of my house. Do you know, It's been like 6 or 7 months, man. It's about fucking time.
Has it been that long?
It's been that long. That was great. That was like a real relief, and I think it was quite tough because we were trying to be mates, and me not having good mental health and battling with the idea that like he's moved on, and I had thoughts about I'm being replaced, that I wasn't enough, that I was worthless in my darkest moments, and then realizing now that was just my bad mental health. Like I'm actually really okay with their situation, and I have been, you know, and I you know, I'm so supportive of it. But in those times where your mental health isn't good, which is very normal, especially after a breakup, you do feel like absolute shit, and you feel like you're the worst person, and you go back over your relationship thinking like all the different things that you could do.
You just blame everything on yourself. And there's always those thoughts that are just like, I wasn't good enough, like no one wants me, and they circle around you like fucking vultures.
And the anger as well that you have for the other person, like you can hate them, which is horrible. You shouldn't hate anyone. That's a very horrible emotion to feel for yourself. It's toxic. It's literally like being angry at someone, hating somebody is like you drinking poison and hoping the other person gets poisoned. It doesn't affect anyone apart from yourself and the people that are around you. It's not a nice feeling to have. Holding grudges is horrible. Being sad, being like, oh my god, I will never be with another person like this again. I mean, that's just absolutely like, that's crazy talk. Like thinking like that is it's almost like you have to deny science because the statistics,
it's not true.
The chances, there are 7 billion people on the planet. You will have literally walking around there now, alive and well, the next person that you're going to fall in love with and the next person you're going to spend the rest of your life with, walking around out there now. You just have to fucking find them, and you can't do that when you're in that bad, negative mental health space. A couple of amazing tips that I've had from my therapist, revelations, especially this whole idea of me realising that, like, I had a chip on my shoulder and I didn't even realise it. So whenever I was talking with Thomas, I would be angry at him, but really I'm just, like, not good with him myself.
Yeah.
And the epiphany I had yesterday was, like, the light bulb moment, the click, was, like, realising that, you know, staying friends with my ex means that I do still get all the good parts of it and the good parts of our relationship. So, like, the laughter and the hanging out and enjoying the company and, you know, the friends and the films and the TV stuff, and realising that, like, I don't have to deal with any of the negative parts anymore. So any of, like, you know, the arguments and the feeling lonely even though you're with a partner and all the horrible stuff that we went through, and now somebody else can deal with that, you know. I've just realised we've been talking for a very long time.
We have. Don't know what... And also, if you are still going through heartbreak...
Sorry, because you went like that. I was getting ready to clap. I was like... I did that too, and I was like, oh wait, no, you're just speaking.
If you are still going through heartbreak and you are struggling and you need a little bit more advice, I did make a little podcast about how to heal a heartbreak when I was going through my breakup heartbreak in the middle of last year. And I think it would be really useful for you. I talked to a sex therapist, astrologer who's 6, and friends, and I talked to my mum on it. And I'm also gonna relaunch it properly soon with a couple of extra episodes, but you can find it on the Fucks Given feed if you scroll down a little bit.
So we hope that this video has at least given you a little bit of faith that things will get better, because they will. Like, trust us when we say it, even if you can't see the light at the end of the tunnel, like, things will get better. It might feel awful. You might have all the horrible thoughts and feelings, and your thoughts can get really dark. You can feel suicidal. You can feel like you want to self-harm and end things. But trust us when we say, like, this will get better. You will not feel like this for forever. It will be temporary. Of course, you can fast track your happiness if you do speak to a therapist, because that does do amazing things for yourself. And and talk to your friends, talk to your family. Maybe don't stop talking. And if you're talking is not enough, write everything down.
Or make a podcast about it.
Yeah, make a podcast. You did video diary entries, which really helped.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I do my video journal when I'm feeling, like, very overwhelmed by my feelings.
Yeah, it's my feelings. It's really, like, you think it's silly, but it's not. It does wonders for you. It really helps. So yeah, if you have any breakup advice, please put them in the comments below, because we'd love to hear from you, because everyone's gone through a different journey, yet we all have the same sort of things to make us heal.
Yes, if you like this video, like it, give it a thumbs up, and subscribe to this channel if you haven't already. We are on a break with Fucks Given, so you can't listen to the podcast.
That's very
But
true.
We'll be back soon.
Please follow us on Instagram to catch up with everything that we do. It's popping off at the moment. Everyone's loving the Instagram. So that's Come Curious. You can follow us on our personal accounts, Read Amber X and Florence Bark.
Oh, and we just started putting things on TikTok if you're over there.
Oh yeah, TikTok, nice. And we will see you next week.
See ya.